Alright, so we got the 11/22 spoilers, and I think that this is actually the last chapter of Egghead. Because Luffy and the Straw Hats are straight up leaving in this chapter. The Gorosei are leaving as well, and we're seeing a detailed silhouette of Joy Boy. We'll get into all of that, but first, let's go over what had happened in the previous chapter. So Luffy, Bonney, and the Giants were continuing to take on Saturn, and Bonney got like her second wind of Nika power, and she and Luffy like hit Saturn with this combo liberation Nika punch, and it completely wrecked him. Like, he was blown to bits, essentially falling into the ocean. And I'll get more into what's going on with the Gorosei and the ocean, because we've seen this a few times actually, but we're not finding out if he like fell into the ocean or not. But after that, the Thousand Sunny finally landed near where the giant pirate ship is, and Vegapunk's transmission seemingly ended, I guess, with him saying the fate of the world now rests in the hands of the one who finds the One Piece. And then we saw that, you know, awesome collage at the end of all the final players in the game. So coming into this one, we're seeing Emeth, the giant robot, continuing to fight the Gorosei. So that's pretty much the last thing that we saw in the previous chapter of them, I suppose. It was Mercury and Jupiter taking on Emeth here. Mars got blown away by Luffy, and Nusjuro got like blown up by Atlas. Other than that, I don't know what he's doing. So I guess it's just Mercury and Jupiter that are fighting Emeth here. And going more into that fight, Emeth uses a massive hockey attack that Joy Boy sealed on it in the past. Okay, so that's pretty exciting. We knew that it was going to be something like this, because Emeth kept asking like, oh, is now the time? Is now the right time to use it, quote unquote? Something that Joy Boy told him to use when the time was right. Now, what he told him exactly, still up in the air. Now, I don't know how Joy Boy sealed it on Emeth. I guess technologically he did, or it's just some kind of super advanced, you know, highest level of hockey where he can just apply it to something, have it stored there, or it's just, you know, ancient kingdom technology, but still has something to do with hockey. And this is, I guess, blowing the Gorosei away, because every Gorosei is sent back to Marijua. Now, I don't think Emeth, like, blasted them all the way there. I think they all chose to return after getting essentially defeated here, because, like I was saying before, I think we saw the end of Vegapunk's transmission in the previous chapter. It was just him saying, like, yeah, whoever gets the One Piece controls the world, essentially. So they failed in stopping the message and pretty much doing anything. The only thing that they succeeded in, I guess, was killing Vegapunk, but that just ruined things for them anyway, in more ways than one. And I guess they all decided to use their portals to get back to Marijua. Still unknown if they're, like, immune to water. You know, like, if they're actually devil fruit users or not. Like, back in the past, of course, they could have ate these mythical Zoan yokai fruits, but there's also a chance that due to how old they are and the ambiguous origins of devil fruits, it's, like, possible that they're doing something else entirely. Like, maybe they are those creatures, or they're able to transform into them for some other reason than eating a devil fruit, or they just ate some kind of special devil fruits that don't have a weakness to water, because, like I've also speculated about before, they could have had the first pick of devil fruits after Emu hypothetically planted one of the first trees that bared them. But this is also another reason that makes me think that this is like the final chapter of this arc, because, you know, they're gone now. They were like the big bads of this arc. So I guess the big ending moment was Luffy and Bonney laying out Saturn, and then Emeth laying out Mercury and Jupiter. And on top of that, going further, the Straw Hats are leaving Egghead. So yeah, that's it. I think we're finally going to Elbaf after this, or we're at least headed there, because in the previous chapter we saw the Sunny finally land where the giant pirate ship was. So yeah, I guess it's about time we finally start moving on to Elbaf. I'm not saying rush it, of course, because it's not going to be rushed regardless, but it just felt like this arc could have ended, I don't know, maybe even 10 chapters ago. Alright, so there's an update as I was making this. Apparently all of the Gorosei have returned to the authority room in Marijua in their human forms, except for Saturn, who remains at Egghead. So that's interesting. I don't know if he's staying there on purpose, or if he got knocked into the ocean like what we were talking about, and he's like stuck there, or he just chose to stay behind and collect the Seraphim, I guess, unless they're like on the ships or whatever. But I guess there are other things that he stayed behind to collect, or maybe he has to do something with York, because I don't think he's fighting anyone at this point, right? Everyone's left. We see the original Joy Boy a bit. but like a silhouette, but more detailed this time. Okay, I cannot wait to see this panel, because we have seen a silhouette of Joy Boy before, but he basically just looked like Luffy in that silhouette. And the one that we saw before that, which was like the first silhouette of Joy Boy, he still pretty much looked like Luffy, I guess, but he had more flame-like hair. Luffy in Gear 5 is more Super Saiyan-y, if that makes sense. But Joy Boy's looked more like the Lunarian Flame almost, or maybe even possibly the Mother Flame. And that could possibly go more into Luffy not fully unlocking all of the power of the Nika fruit. I actually talked about this in a collab that I did recently with Sai, where it's possible that there's going to be a Gear 6 where Luffy unlocks like fire powers or something, because, you know, if he's Sun God Nika, then why does his fruit ability have nothing to do with like the sun or fire or anything? It's just like rubber and Toon Force or imagination, reality manipulation, if you want to say that he has that. So it's possible that Joy Boy had like the fully unlocked fruit, and that's why he looks like he has fire hair. Also, he has like a sword and a spear too, which, you know, Luffy obviously doesn't use. And you know, it really remains to be seen what race he was, like if he was just a human or if he was a giant or if he was a buccaneer. In the silhouette that we saw recently where Joy Boy was fighting like the old kings, he looked like, you know, just a human, I guess. Didn't really look like a buccaneer. He didn't have like buccaneer portions, unless like normally he is a buccaneer, and then when he goes into like the fruit power, he gets slim like Luffy, because that's what like Sun God Nika itself looks like, you know, or what he looks like in people's imaginations. That also makes me wonder, like, is Luffy using the hybrid version of his fruit power, or is he like going full-blown like a straight Zoan form? You know what I mean? Like Lucci, for example, we know when he's just in his hybrid form or his regular Zoan form. So like, what's going on with Luffy? I don't think that's ever been addressed yet. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Hofsco, because I just picked up their Hov Alpha 26-inch electric fat tire bike, and this thing is absolutely incredible. It's probably my favorite possession. Just looking at it, it's incredibly aesthetic, but it also has a 1300 watt motor with a high capacity integrated battery that gives you a range of up to 80 miles per charge. It also has a max speed of 28 miles per hour, as well as a 450 pound payload capacity, along with an intuitive LCD digital panel, front suspension, hydraulic disc brakes, a Shimano 7-speed shifter, a headlight and a tail light, as well as a solid aluminum crankset. It also has this really cool thumb throttle that allows you to just cruise without having to pedal. Like I said, this thing is incredible. I feel so safe on the road with it, and it's so powerful. It easily blasts through hills and incline and goes through rough terrain and the forest like it's nothing. That's one of the main reasons why I wanted to get it, because it's kind of difficult to go through trails and unpaved roads with traditional bikes. I also don't own a car, considering that I live downtown in the city. I don't have to deal with like car insurance and parking and mechanics and any of that stuff. I just get around no problem with this bad boy. So guys, you can get your very own Hov Alpha 26-inch electric fat tire bike by checking the link in the description. Thanks guys. But yeah, we'll see more of this hopefully by Wednesday. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys, and if you liked it, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.